Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining me. On this episode of Build Your Own, we're going to take an in-depth look at Audi Sport, its racing history and heritage, Audi Sport DNA, and current models. Before we do, however, I just want to remind you that if you find this overview of Audi Sport helpful, informative, or entertaining, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. All right, I'm really excited to review Audi Sport and talk about their RS model cars, because when we get down to the bottom of this, they're going to review all their RS cars, and I'm going to do build and price reviews of all the RS models. So I'm going to go ahead and put a link up real quick before I forget to the Audi playlist. And so as I begin to do all the RS models, I'm going to put them in that Audi playlist. So make sure that you subscribe so you know when I do that. And you can get started, because I did do the 2018 Audi RS7. So you can get started with that. So Audi says the secrets of performance are written on the racing line. They say, we race because there's no better way to find the limits of engineering, and no better way to apply decades of knowledge to build cars for drivers who take performance seriously. So now we're going to get a little in-depth overview of their history, a legacy of victory repeating itself. So we'll see how far back they go into their heritage. Here's the great Audi Quattros that used to dominate rally racing like back in the day. They say winning didn't come easy, but as you can see, we found our way to the front, whether it was a gravel or asphalt with Quattro all-wheel drive traction or by turning up the boost. Audi Sport engineering turned trophy collecting into a family tradition. Yeah, here we go. So we're going to go through this gallery real fast, and they're going to start giving us a breakdown of their history. I see they even mentioned Auto Union. Before Audi was Audi, they were Auto Union way back in the day. Listen to this. Hans Stuck piloting the Auto Union Type D in the French Grand Prix 1939. Really cool. So here they're showing a picture of these three Audi DTM cars driven by Hans Joachim Stuck, and then Frank Jelinski and Walter Roll. And I think this guy went on to do something with Porsches anyway. I'm not really sure. I think his name sounds familiar. These three Audi V8 Quattro DTM cars placed first, second, and third in the final race at the Hockenheim in 1990. Stuck also won the Drivers' Championship in 1990. Here's Walter Roll, who won the San Remo Rally in the Audi Sport Quattro S1 in 1985. Forgive me if I'm butchering some of these names. Michelle Mouton raced for Audi Sport from 1980 to 1985, capping her time with the team by winning the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb in record time in 1985. Hey, this is cool. I like women in motorsports. I don't know if you know, but I have a website, a very good automotive website, where I do reviews and tips and all that stuff. And I wrote a really great article about women in motorsport. I'm going to actually put a link to that in the description below if you're interested in reading it. Check this out. In a TV commercial from 1986, an Audi 100 CS Quattro climbs the steep 37.5-degree grade incline of snow-covered ski jump in, well, somewhere in Finland. I'm not going to even try to pronounce that name. In 2012, the Audi R18 e-tron Quattro became the first hybrid power car to win the 24 Hours Le Mans, featuring electric motors powering the front wheels. The Audi R18 e-tron Quattro will go on to win the 2013 and 2014 races as well. You know, they just talked about how this is what pushes engineering. Well, you know what? Just yesterday, I did the brand new Audi e-tron SUV. Right? You think that technology trickled down from this racing? It sure did. I'm going to put a link up right now to that build. The 1989 Auto 90 IMSA GTO race car employed Quattro all-wheel drive to conquer challenging corners. I had read somewhere that Audi's Quattro was so good, they just dominated in some of these sports, especially back in the 80s. They just crushed people because the Quattro was just so advanced that other manufacturers just couldn't do anything with it. Here we go. Listen, Audi R8 Le Mans prototype cars swept the top 3 positions in the 2000 24-hour Le Mans endurance races. When these particular cars, you know, I'm into this kind of racing. When these particular cars were around, I mean, they pretty much collected all kinds of championships, all kinds of races. They were winning all the time. They were at the front all the time. A new era begins. The 2017-2018 Audi Sport ABT Schaefer Formula E team placed first and second in the final weekend to win the team championship in dramatic style. So you see what they've done here. They started with a picture of who? They started with a picture of Hans Stuck way back in 1939, talking about how they were collecting victories back then. all the way up to 2017, 2018, they're still collecting victories, and now they've moved on to this whole new platform, right? They're all about that electronic, the whole Formula E and the high and the electronic electric motors and the electric cars, because, well, that is the future. So Audi is really pushing on that. Okay, so we got through the little gallery. It says here, the models now. We're going to talk about the models. It's not that lonely at the top. In fact, you could say it's crowded. Coupes, sedans, sportbacks, mid-engine supercars, and certified race cars. The Audi Sport model lineup takes a diverse range of vehicles to the upper echelons of performance. Okay, so Audi Sport DNA. We've isolated the genes of success. We push the boundaries in these key areas and then splice them together to build exceptional all-around performers. Okay, so design that's on track to perform. Our designers can't seem to get their minds off the racetrack, which is why you'll find muscular flared fenders to make room for wider tires and a honeycomb pattern on the single-frame grille inspired by our race cars and unique to Audi Sport vehicles. Let's take a look at that. So we can kind of see the muscular lines of this whatever particular RS model this is. It certainly looks to be it might not be a two-door. Kind of looks to be a two-door, but possibly not. Yeah, so that is that. But it looks like they have a couple other tabs here. They have this aerodynamics tab, and they got a power and performance tab. So let's click on these and see what they say. Okay, so under that aerodynamics, it says high-speed streaming is the result of wind tunnel vision. They say they spend countless hours watching which way the wind blows, directing airflow to create downforce, reduce lift, controlling the air around the car, right? Just like they do with race cars, right? To feed air to the engine requires precise shaping of spoilers, vents, and intakes. Optimizing aerodynamics in the wind tunnel helps prevent a drag on performance and fuel economy too. Okay, next I click that power tab and it says, with great power comes great acceleration or exhilaration. You can't reach the peak of performance without great power. So it says the 5.2-liter V10 engine in the Audi R8 V10 Plus Coupe or Audi R8 V10 Plus Spider, Spider means convertible, is the most powerful naturally aspirated engine that they've ever engineered. Featuring a continuously variable intake and exhaust valve train system and a dual injection fuel delivery system, power is delivered throughout the rev range, culminating in a red line of 8,700 RPM. Let's take a look at this motor. Or let you take a look at this motor. I kind of saw it already. There's a little shot of it in black and white. It kind of looks cool. There's a further shot of it. You can see the V10, right? Here's a shot of the apex as it goes on to say apex predator, hairpins, sweepers, double apex, decreasing radius, off camber. These are all kinds of terms, people, just in case you don't know. We've driven them all. Audi Sport cars are set up to turn in with precision and hold the line with composure. The Quattro all-wheel drive systems in Audi Sport vehicles are rear biased to deliver dynamic handling performance. Countless laps on the world's most challenging racetracks have proven we don't drive around in circles for nothing. That's hot. You know, I have driven a few Audis, and they have some tenacious handling. I will definitely agree. But just like on that other tab, looks like they have, so that was handling, looks like they have braking and lightweight, something about probably their body. So let's click this braking tab and see what it tells us. That shifts to a really beautiful brake rotor. And then we can see a race car back here with that rotor glowing so hot, because that brake rotor is so hot from that kinetic energy. But if we scroll up here, what does it say? It says, make braking news. Audi Sport vehicles feature large brake rotors and the clamping force of multi-piston calipers to generate the friction required for confidence-inspired braking performance. Several Audi Sport vehicles are also available with advanced carbon ceramic braking systems. Here's an Audi R8, because now we moved on to lightweight, where we know they're going to talk about the body and the skin and the structure and all that. So here's a shot of what looks to be an R8 coupe. And what do they have to say about that? Nothing? Something? Yes. Less weight, less weighting. It's simple. The lighter the vehicle, the faster it responds to throttle, steering, and braking inputs. Yep, it's performance 101, that's for sure. Which is why we pioneered the use of lightweight materials with ASA, an aluminum space frame design, and then improved upon it with an ASF multi-material space frame that places aluminum, carbon composites, and a mixture of other metals where the strength to weight properties are most effective. Check this out, Audi Sport Customer Racing. You'll be graded on the curve and the straights. The production Audi R8 V10 Coupe shares as much as 60% of the components with the Audi R8 GT4 race car. If you want to know what the remaining 40% feels like, Audi Sport offers a customer racing program that includes the Audi R8 LMS GT3, Audi R8 LMS GT4, and Audi RS3 LMS. So they got this picture of a 60%. This looks like an Audi R8 behind that. And then with Audi Sport, you're 100%, right? And they got all these little, ringing eardrums, dry eyes, all this excitement you're going to be feeling, basically. This looks like the DTM team. This looks like a DTM team. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that exactly, but it looks like a DTM team, perhaps, just showing off all their cars, and it looks pretty cool. Lastly, they're going to show us some Audi RS models. Let's look at some Audi RS models really fast. Okay, so we're going to look at this from a couple different ways. When I shrank this screen down to make it fit into this window, they changed how it looked. And so I kind of like it, but I don't. So we can see that here are some Audi Sport models. You got the 2018 RS3. You got a 2018 RS5 Coupe. You've got a 2019 RS5 Sportback. And then 2018 R8 Coupe. But check it out. I went to go look on their other page where they do a different layout of the Audi Sport models, and so we can see more of them. All right, so here is the other model page that they lay out that gives us a better idea of all their models. See, we've got the sedans and Sportback. So you got an RS3, you got an RS5 Sportback, you got the RS7, right? I did the RS7, the 2018 RS7. Let me put a link up to that right now. Okay, and then we have the RS5 Coupe, we've got the Audi TT RS, and we've got a 2018 Audi R8, and then the R8 in a Spider. So like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm going to go through all these. I've already done the 2018 RS7, so I guess I've got one done. I'm going to go through the remainder of these, and I'll put all of them, obviously, in my Audi playlist. So make sure that you subscribe, so that way, when I post these other ones, I'm going to do, I think, maybe the RS3 next. So stay posted. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. That was interesting. We learned a little bit about Audi, their heritage, and we see all their models and their Audi Sport DNA, and we think we got a pretty good idea. And now we'll be able to reference back to this later. So that's really cool. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. If you made it to the end, you're awesome. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. I promise to keep turning out really great content. I haven't even gotten started yet, actually. Haven't even gotten started yet. I'm about to turn up the screws. So, thank you very much, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.